Fab, thanks, James. Today I'm going to be talking about driving visibility, clicks, and sales with product PR in the era of AI search. But for those of you that don't know me, I'm Amy Gibson and I'm the strategy director at Digitaloft. So I work really closely with our PR teams and our SEO teams and oversee the client strategy teams at the agency to really ensure we're driving commercial outcomes for our clients whenever and wherever people are searching. My background is very heavily in PR as well, both across digital PR and traditional PR. And I've worked with a range of brands across both B2B and B2C. And some of those brands at the moment is Emma Sleep, AG1, Blacks, and Booking.com for business. I also live in the Lake District, which is where you don't find many SEOs and digital PRs. But if you are ever in the Lake District, I also run this page at Roaming the Lakes, where I kind of share all of my recommendations. So make sure you give me a follow on there as well. So let's get straight into it. So does anybody remember when these were the only two places that consumers went to when searching for products to buy? These were definitely much more simpler times. But now the consumer buying journey is very messy and it's much more fragmented. Consumers are also turning to social media sites such as TikTok and Instagram, forums such as Reddit, and more recently, they're turning to LLMs such as ChatGPT to really help them decide which products to buy. And as James mentioned, recently at Digitaloft, we have run a survey of over 2,000 British consumers. And one of the questions we asked was, in the last 3 months, how many people have bought a product online after discovering it through the following channels? So you can see that 67% of people have turned to Google and another search engine. Nearly half of people have turned to social media, so the likes of TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. 32% have had that in-store discovery and then gone online to purchase the product. And 8% have also been turning to Reddit or other forums. But this is the one that I really want to focus on. So in the past 3 months, a fifth of people have used AI assistants, so the likes of ChatGPT and Perplexity, to help them discover the products as part of their buying journey. So even if they're carrying out additional research across social and across Google, AI assistants are still a part of that journey for a fifth of people. And the adoption of AI assistants and AI search platforms is growing really, really quickly. And if you're not visible on these platforms, as more and more people are turning to them for recommendations, then you're really going to be missing out. But to be visible on these platforms, you first need to understand how they come up with their results. So AI search systems, such as Google's AI mode and ChatGPT, they don't use a single search query, and instead they use something called query fan out to improve the quality of their responses. So in simple terms, query fan out is when AI search systems, they take that initial query and prompt, and they split that out into multiple queries behind the scenes. The systems then look at all of the results across these different queries, and then they use the relevant information to then come up with a single response. And query fan out isn't just looking at the top results on Google either. They might even be looking at pages that are ranking in 10th position, because what they're doing is they're looking for the most relevant content from those pages that align with your initial query or prompt. So if you want to be featured in AI recommendations, you really need to be visible in the sources that they are using in query fan out. And this is why PR is so incredibly powerful. And a tool that I really like is actually this one from iPullRank. So what this tool does, it's a query fan out simulator, and it's a really good indicator to show you the types of synthetic queries that AI services generate from your original query. So you can see here, I typed in the query, I'm looking to buy a mattress that costs no more than £700. I'm a side sleeper and I suffer from back pain. You can then see that the simulator has generated 28 additional queries. So this is emulating what the AI surfaces are doing when you put in that initial prompt. So let's say that of those 28 queries, the AI surfaces are then going and looking at the top 10 results of each on Google. This is 280 sources which they are using. And what they are doing is looking for the most relevant content from those pages that align with the query for the answer that they give you. So it's really important to be featured in these sources if you want to influence AI surfaces. And then what I've done is I've taken one of those synthetic queries and typed it into Google to see what is ranking in the top 10 positions. And these are the sources which AI search will be using to answer my initial prompt. So you can see here that 6 out of 8 of the top 10 results are product roundups from editorial publications. So it's really important that you are featured in these articles if you want to be surfaced by the AI search platforms. And product PR is the perfect way to get featured in these articles. These are really high authority publications as well. You've got the likes of The Independent, The Telegraph, House and Garden, British GQ, Tech Radar, and Ideal Home. And also, as that slide has just shown, the chance of a brand ranking for best product on Google is far lower than it used to be as well. If we step back a few years ago, it was all brands in the top 10 results, whereas now you're competing with publishers and their better roundups. And not only that, you've also got AI overviews as well as merchant shopping listings and ads as well. And you can see here on the screen that the top 2 results for best mattress right now are again held by publishers, with The Guardian's roundup in position 1 and The Independent in position 2. So now it's not just how do you rank your own site, but how do you appear on these sites and publishers that are ranking in these top positions? And if you're only thinking about how your website ranks, then you're missing out on a huge wealth of opportunity. Because AI search is really reshaping how people discover brands, and next-gen search experiences, so AI overviews, AI mode, and LLMs, they don't rely on your site content alone. They rely on what others say about you. And this is where digital PR comes in. So it's really important that you're visible where it matters. This is an important part of any PR strategy, not just for AI search. But we know that the brands that are consistently mentioned in trusted and relevant news sources are the ones that are being surfaced and recommended in AI search. So you need to teach the AI who you are and what you do. You need to think about PR for AI visibility as more than just links and mentions. If you want to be surfaced alongside a topic by AI, you need third-party mentions that position you in that context. And brand awareness and trust have always been important pillars of PR. So it's really key to gain coverage in the right publications that not only boost recognition, but also credibility with both humans and AI systems. And without PR, you're not going to be cited as much as you could be in AI search. And product PR really is key to winning the visibility in the era of AI search. So the media is currently one of the most common sources of information being used to surface results in LLMs. But this doesn't mean that you just need more mentions to be recommended. You need the right type of mentions. So are you being talked about in the right category context or in relation to your products? Are the mentions surrounded by category signals, not just your brand name, but also what you're known for? And are the mentions in an article with a positive sentiment? This is really important. And are those mentions in relation to a review of your product and service? And to be visible on AI surfaces, it's really important to understand the sources and the coverage which are powering those search results. So I'm going to run through the process I would do if I was a brand in the UK selling mattresses. I would first go to ChatGPT and ask what are the best mattresses I can buy in the UK. So you can see here from the results is that ChatGPT has surfaced a number of things that I need to check before even going and buying a mattress, as well as a number of different mattress recommendations with some information about each brand. So we can see a number of brands featured in these results, including the likes of Simba, Nectar, Emma, Silent Night, and also Dunelm. But then it's really important to go and look into the sources. So here we can see the sources which are being pulled for these AI search results. You've got the likes of expert reviews, Tom's Guide, The Independent, The Guardian, and even more publications. And it's really important that you're being featured in these publications if you want to show up in the AI search results. And this article is actually from Expert Reviews, and it's one of the sources powering the results on the previous page. So what's really interesting here is that this article was actually updated as recently as the 10th of October. And something we've noticed at Digitaloft is that we're actually finding journalists are updating these articles more often than previously. So we know that traffic to publishers is down anyway, naturally as a result of AI. But LLMs such as ChatGPT are using these types of listicles and roundups as they are third-party recommendations. So what this means is that publishers are gravitating more towards this type of content and they're updating them more often. So we know that AI prioritizes fresh sources and publishers are more clued into this. Once over the likes of Expert Reviews and The Independent, they might have updated these articles once a year, but now they're actually updating them in real time. And what this does is this presents a huge opportunity for PRs, and you really need to be featured in this type of content. And it's the same across other products and industries as well. Let's look at the best trainers for a high rocks competition, something that I searched on ChatGPT recently. Again, you can see a range of trainers appearing from Puma to OnCloud. And again, when you go and look into the sources that ChatGPT is using, it's exactly the same story. It's roundups and review articles from high authority and relevant publications. You've got niche fitness publications such as Muscle and Fitness. You've got lifestyle publications such as Glamour and GQ, and then you've got nationals such as the Evening Standard. And this type of research, this kind of prompt testing and source auditing, it needs to be part of your AI search strategy if you want to be visible on these platforms, because you need to be featured in the articles which are being used as sources. But how do you get your brand featured in the articles that these AI search platforms are using as sources? Well, this is where product PR comes in. But product PR isn't anything new. And actually, this is me back in 2018. I was working in a hybrid role incorporating both traditional PR and digital PR. I worked on Ryobi Power Tools, and I was leading their product PR strategy. This was at their annual conference where we invited journalists, influencers, and bloggers to come and try all of their products with the idea that they would review them within the press. And my goals in 2018 was to create demand for priority products, launch Ryobi's new products to the press, generate as much positive product PR coverage as possible in relevant publications, and ensure Ryobi was featured alongside competitors in these roundups. And I also had to ensure Ryobi products had standalone reviews in key publications. And all of this would make Ryobi the most recommended power tool brand compared to their competitors. And the same goals apply with AI search today. You can't be recommended by AI as the best if you're the only one saying it. What you say about yourself and what other people say about you needs to match up, and this is why we use product PR. But for a long time, product PR has been ignored by SEOs. I've been executing product PR strategies for a number of years now, and often the SEOs in the room have completely disregarded this type of activity, even if it was making the business money. And there's two reasons because of this. This is because product PR often results in a high number of affiliate links, as well as a high number of no-follow links when compared to other digital PR activity. And over the years, SEOs have been so obsessed over the fact if a link is follow or no follow that they've actually missed out on a huge wealth of opportunity. And actually, by just focusing on follow links, SEOs have disregarded coverage that not only creates demands for products and increases sales and revenue, but now the type of coverage that tells LLMs and AI search platforms the products that you should be recommended for. So this does mean that some brands are behind in trying to play catch up to really ensure they are recommended across AI search and LLMs. It's really important that your SEO and your PR teams are working together to ensure your products are recommended on AI search. And the focus shouldn't just be on links, it should be on earning coverage that means you are visible and recommended. So if you want to be recommended as the brand with the best mattress for side sleepers, you need to be referenced by other parties as this and not just say it yourself. So let's move on to the types of product PR campaigns that consistently drive that visibility, clicks, and sales in the era of AI search. So first up, we have roundups and reviews. Then we've got new product launches, and then we've got deals and sales. And of course, Black Friday is around the corner, so I'll come on to that a little bit later on. And these might seem like boring PR tactics compared to creative stories, but this is exactly what you need to be doing to be surfaced in LLMs, because AI search prioritizes clarity, not creativity. There's definitely still a part for those creative campaigns, but if your goal is to kind of be featured in LLMs as product recommendations, this is exactly what you need to be doing. So let's kind of run through some tips and tricks of how you can earn this coverage. So to earn coverage in roundups and reviews, what you need to be doing is researching the roundups which are already out there for your product category. This is how you find the journalists who are writing these types of publications. So you can see here, I've typed in best mattresses to Google. I've filtered it by news, and I can see that that independent article is in position 1. And Sarah Jones is the assistant indie best editor. So if I was working on this product PR strategy, Sarah would definitely be a person who is on my media list. I'll then expand this list by researching shopping and review journalists across your dream publications. Even if yet they haven't yet covered your product category, it might be something that is in the pipeline. And something to kind of really remember here is that this list, this media list, it's not going to be really long. It's all about creating a targeted list of journalists who are actually going to cover this product. And it's all about kind of being really tailored with your approach. Then this is an example email that I would send to somebody like Sarah. So I definitely reference her article, which I want to be included in. And then I'd explain which brand I'm working for. And I'd also offer some samples, because how can we expect journalists to review these products if they've not tried them out? And then, of course, include that link back to the website so they can view all of your products in full. And then you do need to usually send samples to be included in these roundups and reviews. This is a really important part of kind of the process. And it's really important that they're also delivered on time for journalists to review these. So there's a few things that I kind of ask a journalist to ensure that nothing goes wrong during this process. Obviously, you need the address, but also any delivery instructions. You need to find out their preferred delivery date and deadline samples. If you think that a journalist might be reviewing 10 mattresses, that is a bit of a logistical nightmare for them. So often they do have a lot of kind of strict deadlines, which you need to adhere to. Then also find the date that the article is going live. And it's always good to ask if they can include that product page link as well. It's really important to be proactive throughout this process and make sure that you're letting the journalist know of any updates and if you run into any delays. And a great way to kind of keep on track of all of these product PR opportunities is by creating a tracker. You kind of update this in real time, share it with the client or with the brand as well. Because the worst thing that can happen is that you promise a sample to a journalist and they don't receive it. This will damage that relationship and they're less likely to kind of come to you for samples again in the future. And you really want to prioritize strengthening these relationships with these journalists, as they will often cover your new product as well when they are launched. So really important to keep them on side. And these are just some example pieces of product PR coverage the Digitaloft team have secured over the past few weeks. So you can see the 11 best cozy bedroom picks for 2025 on Country Living. Do Emma mattresses live up to the hype on Good Housekeeping? And then also a roundup on electric blankets as well on The Guardian. So this is just proof that this product PR approach really does work, and it's something we're executing every single day for our clients. And then moving on to deals and sales. So as I mentioned, Black Friday is just around the corner. And that is obviously one of the best times of the year to really land coverage for your deals and sales. And it's a very similar process to product guides and roundups, but you don't need to send samples. It's all about the offers. So again, you create that tailored media list of really relevant journalists. This list isn't going to be very long. It's just going to be the journalists who are publishing this type of content. Then when it comes to writing the pitch, you need to include the percentage off and also the monetary value in your pitches as well. This is really important. If it's a low value product and you're only offering 5% off, for example, that probably isn't going to land in the press. Whereas, if it's a high value product and you've got 10% off, then that's really important to kind of include. And it's important to include the monetary value and discount as well in your pitches. Also include product images as well. This is kind of going to higher your chances of inclusion if the journalist can include images of your products. And again, tailor your pitches, make them bespoke, pick out key products which you know are going to be of interest to different publications. And this isn't going to be the same across all of the different target publications as well. And then we can't talk about product PR without mentioning Black Friday. We know that consumers are using ChatGPT in that discovery stage of a purchase. So it's really vital that you are showing up when LLMs, when users are searching Black Friday prompts. So I wanted to kind of show some examples of this using Emma, one of our clients at Digitaloft. And here we can see kind of sources which are being used. So I typed in the Black Friday prompt saying, where can I get the best Black Friday deal on a mattress? you can see that Emma, which is a Digitaloft client, they are one of the first people appearing, and it says their Black Friday begins early with up to 30% off across their mattress range. Then when we look into the source where that information is pulling from, we can see it's a piece of Black Friday coverage which has been secured by the Digitaloft PR team. And then when we look into more sources, again, we can see that LLMs are using your own website. So specifically in this case, they are using the Emma Black Friday landing page, as well as one of their competitors' Black Friday landing pages as well. But it's not enough to just have that Black Friday landing page to be visible for AI search. You also need to have those third parties saying the same thing, which in this case is covering the same Black Friday deals which are on your website. So you can see there is 3 other pieces of Digitaloft PR coverage here on Glamour Magazine, House and Garden, and The Sun. And then there's also a piece on The Independent. So this is an article we are targeting for inclusion as well to make sure Emma stays one of the most recommended brands. And this type of prompt testing and source auditing is a big part of our strategy at the moment for all of our product PR clients. And then it's not just Black Friday where our clients are surfacing in LLMs through our product PR approach. So we work with Go Outdoors and have done for a number of years. And a big part of our strategy has always been product PR. And recently we've tweaked our approach to ensure that Go Outdoors are being featured and recommended on LLMs because we're earning those authoritative mentions in sources that AI trusts. So we asked ChatGPT to look at standout tents in the UK market with the prompt of affordability, quality, and features, and Go Outdoors products are surfacing in the results. And this is because we've been getting Go Outdoors featured in relevant roundups for their key products. For example, these are 2 pieces of product PR coverage on The Telegraph for the best tents and the best sleeping bags. And we know that AI platforms are commonly citing product roundups in recommendations. So to be surfaced, it's really vital to be included in these. And when we look at more general prompts, such as recommend me somewhere to buy a new pair of hiking boots from, or recommend me somewhere to buy a new sleeping bag from, again, we can see that Go Outdoors is being surfaced. And this shows how our PR work translates beyond traditional search rankings, really positioning our clients as those trusted recommendations in emerging channels. And this is all through our product PR strategy. So just to quickly wrap up from me, over 1/5 of people are using AI search platforms to help them discover new products, and that number is growing every single day. Prompt testing is so important to uncover which sources are being used to surface recommendations for your products. So you need to be doing this as part of your strategy. And you need to get your products and brand featured in these sources to be recommended on AI surfaces. Product PR is the perfect way to do this, and it's the key for driving visibility, clicks, and sales in the era of AI search. So thank you for listening. If you do want to kind of catch up after this, you can follow me on LinkedIn or pop me an email. So thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Amy. Really, really great presentation. Yeah, if anyone does have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. We've got a couple of minutes before we'll take a short break. And yeah, if anyone does have any, let us know. If not, as Amy said, you can reach out to her afterwards on socials. And there's one comment in there actually, Amy, from halfway through your talk, and it's one that I think gets into a topic that we actually touched on with a client the other day. The question was, will publications start to block AI crawlers the same way they did with no-follow links for Google? And Amy, I'll let you take away your thoughts on that. Happy to jump in with my thoughts as well. But it feels this is a topic that's coming up more and more. I know we've had it our side this week on 2 sides of it, really. I think, one, are the publications blocking AI crawlers, and 2, will they start to? So yeah, what are we thinking there?
Sorry, my computer's froze.
That's all right.
I think it's a tricky one. I think obviously some publications are blocking AI crawlers, I believe. And I think it's probably something that we're going to see a lot going forward.
Yeah, I think it's a difficult one because I think whilst a lot of publishers still actively blame, and there's lawsuits going on with this, isn't there? A lot of publishers still actively blame the various AIs for taking away a lot of their traffic. I think there will become a point where they have to reach some behind the scenes agreement. I think from my take, I understand why a lot of these publications are blocking AI bots. It's because of they don't want them to have their content. They don't want them to cite their content. They want people to come directly to it. But I think there will come a point where there has to be some sort of agreement because the AI needs the content and the publishers need the traffic. So
Mm.
I think, I personally, I don't think there's any easy answer to this. I think, it's Philip, the question that you put there is, will it be the same way they did with no follow links for Google? I think the difference we had there is that Google in 2019, I think it was when they changed no follow from a directive to a hint. It was in Google's control to say, well, we'll just start counting no follow links in the right circumstances. With AI bots, we're looking at a very, very complex situation based on a lot more than do links pass SEO value, which I think was the crux of the argument back then. Amy, as I think you mentioned, if we look at the no follow argument, I think what you said, and feel free to elaborate again, is that so many brands missed out on so many big opportunities because of their obsession with follow versus no follow rather than seeing the bigger opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. And I think as well, it's just about making sure that you're securing the right type of coverage and not just kind of coverage for coverage sake as well. You need to be landing the coverage that includes that context wrapping, includes your company positioning, the key products, because those are the types of mentions that AI platforms really, really trust.
Yeah, so I think what we will see, I think only any of us could guess on that in terms of publications blocking AI crawlers. I think a lot want to, whether a lot can do long term, who knows. But again, thank you very much for a great talk, Amy.